All right. You guys ready to meet a few of the Harry Potter cast members? Yeah, I thought you'd say that. All right, let's get this party started. Ladies, get ready. From awkward and unlucky to brave and heroic, we follow him since his first fumbling days at Hogwarts to his last heroic stand against evil. Played by our next guest, Neville Longbottom, in our hearts. And maybe the hearts of a special Ravenclaw. As Harry Potter's friend and Dumbledore Army member, please welcome to the panel, Matthew Lewis! That's for you. Hello. All right, it doesn't stop there. We're still going. Now, for precocious pranksters and entertaining entrepreneurs, we follow these two since Harry's first day at Hogwarts. They play the comedic cornerstone of the Weasley family, Fred and George Weasley. Please help me welcome to the stage, James and Oliver. We're still going. There's more. Now, we first met her in Harry Potter, the Order of the Phoenix, as a quirky, quality Ravenclaw, Luna Lovegood. Her real-life Harry Potter knowledge could certainly rival any of the fans in this room. Please join me in welcoming to the stage, Evanna Lynch. Next up, he's known for his explosive presence in the series. He lit up the screen for us as Harry's fellow Gryffindor bunkmate, Seamus Finnigan. Please welcome to the stage, Devon Murray! Last but not least, he's an Order of the Phoenix member. He's a Ministry of Magic employee. Electric plug collector. These are just some of the terms one could use to describe our next guest on-screen character, Arthur Weasley. But it's safe to say that his performance made everyone wish they were part of the Weasley family. Please join together in welcoming Mark Williams to the stage. What do you guys think? Guys, we're glad you're here. How's your day been so far? Pretty good? A little cold for Florida? All right, now, we know we have the best Harry Potter fans in the house, am I right? So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do some trivia. We're gonna ask you guys some questions based on some of our favorite clips starring you guys. What do you guys think about that? We're gonna show some clips. Then we're gonna ask you questions about those. We're actually gonna start with you, Matt. You're up first. Are you guys okay with that? Just making sure. Matt, let's go and take a look at your clip.
Doesn't matter that Harry's gone.
Stand down, Neville.
People die every day. Friends. Family. Yeah. We lost Harry tonight. He's still with us. In here. So's Fred. Remus. Tonks. All of them. They didn't die in vain. But you will. Because you're wrong. Harry's heart did beat for us. For all of us.
Now, do you have the sword with you?
No, they won't give me it.
No.
I tried.
Oh, that would have been the first thing. All right, so we've got 5 questions based on just random questions that we got around. And the first one is, how are you feeling when you read that you would personally destroy Nagini? And what was it like to see that scene fully realized? Like when you were, from the difference from when you read it and when you actually were there?
Yeah, wow. I remember reading the book very vividly and getting to that section of the story and just thinking, wow, that is going to be incredible. And what a responsibility that Joe Rowling has laid, on me there. So,
What did you say?
I don't think J.K. Rowling wrote the limping, did she?
I think I just got injured playing football or something like a week before, and I had to just write it in myself. But there's like 4 stages. So like you read it in the book, and then you think, is it going to be in the script? Are we ever even going to film it? And then finally, is it going to make the final cut? And thankfully, it got through all 4 of those stages, and yeah, it was incredible. I never expected anything like that to happen to Neville. So it was pretty special. It was a really nice moment for.
It's a very full circle moment for you.
Yeah, exactly. It's the culmination of his entire journey. It's Neville's moment, and it was really great. I'm so glad that David took the time to really nail that scene.
It's a great scene. Now, I gotta tell you, I mean, even just when you came out from your picture there and seeing you there, obviously your character Neville did a lot of growing up. Now, I'm gonna ask you, what was it like growing up on the set?
Wow, I mean, we had such a laugh, like everyone had such a good time together on those films. We sort of lived like 2 lives, like our lives back home where we lived, and then this ridiculous life where we made Harry Potter films for a living, and we did all our schooling there, like together in the same classrooms, and it was a real family atmosphere. Everyone with one of our teachers over there,
And getting to work with him.
Apart from when you were all about 14 and 15, where you used to sit off set on your Blackberries and stuff, just going like... You go, hello, hiya, and you'd all go...
I still do that now.
Sure, it's even worse. Now, all right, I'm gonna ask you. Now in the books you became a herbology professor. If you had a choice, which Hogwarts class would you teach? Not Neville, you.
Well, it's got to be Defense Against the Dark Arts, hasn't it? That's the best class. Like that's the class that I'd most like to attend, and I think like Professor Lupin was like my favourite teacher. So yeah. So I think yeah, Defense Against the Dark Arts definitely.
Excellent. Now, what was your first scene that you filmed, and what was the last scene you filmed in the movie?
Oh, jeez.
Think back.
Oh no, okay, yeah. The first scene I did was when Neville got on the broomstick in the very first movie, and it all went wrong and flew around. And I was like, 11 years old, absolutely terrified. And Chris Columbus sort of took me aside and went, "No pressure, but this scene's all about you." Cheers, Chris.
You're like, thanks.
So that was a sort of in at the deep end start for me, but it was great, doing all those kinds of stunts when you're 11 years old, like being on a roller coaster. It was so much fun. And then my final scene was all that kind of stuff. And the actual final scene that I did was on the courtyard. And I remember, well, you were there.
Spoiler.
Everyone else was there. Too soon? But yeah, that was it. It was a great finish, to do that scene last, for that whole moment for Neville, and to go out on that high was really cool.
That's awesome. Now, last question. Now, the scene where Neville did the Snape in grandmother clothes boggart. Can you tell us what your boggart would actually be?
I don't know. I'm pretty scared of spiders. Like, I know it's kind of a cliche, but
It's not.
The single most terrifying thing on the earth. There's times in my house, because I live in quite an old house, and there's lots of little holes and dark places where they can hide, and they've trapped me in my kitchen for hours before.
I've been there.
And they smell fear. They know.
Do you know those photos online where it shows like the person like, oh gosh, a spider, and then all of a sudden it shows a house blowing up, and it's like all good?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah. I've got a baseball bat, samurai sword. I'll get anything I can just grab to try and take care of it, but they terrify me, man.
Do you have a samurai sword in your house?
Yeah, man.
He just doesn't have the other one. He's just a samurai. All right, Matthew, that's all the questions I got for you right now. James, you're next. Let's go and take a look at your clip.
Cooked it up just this morning.
It's not going to work.
Oh yeah? And why is that, Granger?
You see this? This is an age line. Dumbledore drew it himself.
So?
So, a genius like Dumbledore couldn't possibly be fooled by a dodge as pathetically dim-witted as an aging potion.
Oh, but that's why it's so brilliant, because it's so pathetically dim-witted. Ready, Fred? Ready, George? Bottoms up.
That was pretty much a typical scene for you guys. Now I'm gonna ask you, now Fred and George were known to be notorious pranksters in the movies. Did you pull any pranks of your own during the films?
A couple, yes.
What was your favorites?
Some we can't say for legal reasons.
Let's go with the ones you can.
Those we can. I can't, actually, one we did on Matt once, I don't know if you can remember it or not. Matt fell asleep in front of a TV in one of the dressing rooms, which we just so happened to be playing Battlefield on. It's like a computer game where you shoot people. So we turned the volume up to 100% and fired a few rounds off. It's quite entertaining.
He was like this. Now, what was your reaction when you were reading the script and you found out about Fred in the final book? He already called him out. He was already out there.
Before I answer this is a spoiler alert for anyone who's not seen or read the last one.
I showed up that day, they're like, you're not going to be in it anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I actually, when I first read it, I was in Japan, I was doing some traveling. I was on the bullet train, and I literally read what happened to Fred, and I was a bit like, without getting too dramatic or anything, it was like reading that your best friend had been killed. It was quite a surreal moment, which that feeling surprised me even more than reading what it was. I think that's only when you realise how much it means that to someone. So I'm kind of a bit sombre. I'm like, oh wow. As I'm doing that, the ticket inspector came round. I don't speak Japanese, he didn't speak English, but I was trying to I've just died here, give me a minute.
He's like, ticket.
Yeah,
like,
ticket,
no, I'm dead.
dead.
You don't understand. You can get your ticket later. Now, we know that Harry Potter has the most dedicated fans out of any film series out there. Now, do you have any very memorable moments with the fans throughout this entire thing? What was your most memorable moment?
There's been so many, I've got to be honest, so many from the...
She's like, us!
Yeah, well, I was getting into that.
You cut him off, he was going there.
I remember the first scene we did, we were in... I just saw my head there. Those are pretty good from out there. Yeah. Yeah,
Now you're just multiplying.
I remember the final premiere that we had in Leicester Square in London. That was apparently the biggest premiere in history, which we thought, you know, that one, nothing like this will ever be seen. And then we came here for the grand opening a few years ago. And yeah, I mean, some of you guys may have been there.
Oh, MegaCon.
There they go.
So MegaCon was more recent.
That was more recent.
We just took photos with you, remember?
So Oliver and I were doing press in the morning. So we were there before sunrise, and you could see like a little silhouette. And then as the sun came up, you just saw the people get further and further and further. And I think it was about 3 or 4 miles stretch. So, I mean, if people say like, what the fan base to, I mean, and also the fans are very respectful of our own privacy as well, which is really great. And just everyone's very friendly and very supportive. So thank you so much, guys. Really good. Appreciate it.
Nicely done. Now I gotta know, working on the films, which of the directors influenced you the most?
Yeah, thanks. Dave, they all have, to be honest with you. I mean, Chris Columbus gave us our big break straight away. Alfonso kind of got us really into the characters, even so much so when the Marauders map scene, he kind of helped the characters kind of cut each other up and really flow with each other, develop. And then Mike Newell was just a hell of a good guy to work with, very funny. He allowed me to keep my long hair, as you saw in that movie. And then David, for the last couple, he, again, really got you on the emotional side of the character. So I think that I can't really answer just one particular director. They've all been fantastic.
That's great. Last question. This was actually a Harry Potter question. So I gotta know, if you could cast any spell, which one would it be? Think about it.
It's not really a spell, it's just something that's in it, and it would be a port key. Like, I'm sure you guys have all been stuck at immigration in this country, right? It takes ages, so, and the flight as well, so I mean, then I could just pop back and forth as much as I want.
There you go. I like it. James, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oliver, you're up next. Let's see your clip.
Morning.
I like it. It's like, wait a minute, that's, oh, okay. Now, I'm looking at you guys right now, and I gotta say, when you guys had your hair longer, I don't know if I could have told you guys apart. Did you guys ever switch places on set? Did you ever switch places and try to do each other's scenes to mess with everybody?
It's a really boring answer, but no. I can remember I think it was the Chamber of Secrets on a long grey horse shoot in a rehearsal we may have done, thinking, oh, aren't we naughty? You couldn't tell the difference. The only time we actually had to swap over was because James came down with a cold when we were filming, and I think I was in Chamber of Secrets as well. And Harry's leaving a homework session, and as he's leaving, and everyone thinks he's the heir of Slytherin at the time, so people are talking behind his back. And in the reversal shot, I was sitting next to James, but for the flip side, James wasn't there, so my double was where I was, and I had to move where James was. So if you pause it, you can see there's only one
switch over, just for a little bit.
That was the only time.
That's close enough. That's good. I like that. Now, what was your favorite scene to film?
In
any of the movies? You can choose any
they
one.
were all pretty. I mean, that scene we just saw there was pretty cool because I just thought, what a horrible brother to do that. but I'm sure everyone would do that. But also the World Cup scene as well, when we did that, that was really cool. I think because we could just be ourselves at a football game, you know, shouting, "Come on!" Really getting into it.
That was fun as well, because it was really like, you know, Dad taking the sons to see the sports teams play. So that was
really good time. Yeah.
Didn't mean to interrupt us.
The flying was great though, wasn't it? You remember that day when we had
on the
we with the curly wire flying, and it's stunt guys on great big steel drums winding you like this. And there's two sets of drums, the drums to take you up and then the drums to take, and it was the length. It's back to those lights behind there, and they'd wind us up and then whap. I liked it.
That's actually good, because, you know, the Quidditch scenes were awesome. What was it like when you were filming them, and was there any cool moments that happened?
I mean, the main thing with Quidditch is that how the films evolved, so did the filming of Quidditch. Even to the point where we'd start filming on the first film, and it would be a small little bicycle saddle on the broomstick, and then by the end of it, it was this huge, almost like a horse riding saddle. So it became a lot more comfortable. But actually filming it was, it would be on a large track, and you could be anywhere from, you know, a couple of feet to quite high off the ground, and just go for it all around there. And there was some cool parts from that Quidditch sequence. But I mean, I think it's more interesting watching it than it was filming it, because after a while it did get a bit repetitive and everything else, but it was still, I mean, everyone wants to fly, right? So it was the nearest one.
Can't beat that, man. Now, if you were given the chance to avoid traffic, say you're on the way here, there's too many cars, you're like, listen, I need another option. Would you choose the Nimbus 2000, the Apparition, or the Flying Ford Anglia? Which one would you choose?
I wouldn't choose a Ford Anglia, mainly because when we're filming, no, but for the main reason that when we were filming, we had Hegrig in the back with us, and it all looks cute and everything, but owls go to the toilet quite often.
And it was the hottest day of the year.
From experience,
and this owl had obviously eaten quite a lot. He was flapping his wings, so the whole back of the car was just covered in bird mess.
Did it get you?
It may have been, yeah. Another reason I wouldn't get in a Ford Anglia again. But yeah, so I'll probably go for the Nimbus 2000. Was it a 2000 or 2001?
Either one.
Maybe
2001?
Maybe a 2000.
2000?
I mean, the Fireball would have been better, I think, yeah. But yeah, so a broomstick, I think, because you could go a lot quicker, and it's easy to park as well.
Yeah, and it's just you. You don't have to worry about anything else. Now, I gotta know, what would your Patronus be? If you had to choose one.
Oh gosh, I don't know. It would be
just you.
Just me, Oliver, or me?
Just you, Oliver. Did you say his brother?
Would you say I'm scary? Is that the...
It would probably be like a panda. Yeah, just like, I like it. Obviously like Harry has on his big stack. I'm a bit chilled back like that, so it'll probably just be
just kind of sits there and
just
goes,
like sitting there with a bamboo stick. Dementors going everywhere, and he's just
not like super intimidating, but just there, like you know it's there.
And then like every now and then you do it, and he'll just be asleep.
No, get up and do this. Come on. All right, Oliver, that's all I got for you, man. Evanna. Let's go ahead and take a look at your clip.
Mad. I can see them too. You're just as sane as I am. Everyone, this is Luna Lovegood. What an interesting necklace. It's a charm, actually. Keeps away the narwhals.
It worked. Evanna, I got some questions for you. Now, we've heard that you had a really unique casting experience for the movies. Can you share any of that story with us?
Yeah, well, that was... I mean, I would never be where I am today if I hadn't been a huge Harry Potter fan to start with. I think everyone knows that. I don't make it a secret. But yeah, I really, really wanted to play that part. Because I'd read, I started reading them when I was 8, and I knew about Luna's character, and I knew she was coming up, and I was keeping an eye. I was like a big fan of the films already. So I used to go on all the Harry Potter websites, MuggleNet, I should give them a shout out. Every day just for news, and one day there was an announcement for an open casting for Luna, and I was like, that's me, that's my ticket. So and I lived in Ireland, I'm from Ireland, and it was in London, so I kind of had to beg my parents, and my mom didn't want me to go because I had school, and my dad, who's here, hi Dad, he took me. He said, oh, let's give it a shot. And yeah, so it was a big open audition. Basically anyone could go. There was...
How many people do you think were there?
What?
How many people do you think were at that open audition?
Well, they said 15,000, but that's a scary number. I think, I don't know. Yeah, they said that. And apparently 3 boys turned up to the audition. Fair play.
These guys?
Yeah, these 2 in wigs. Yeah, and I had that, it was on a Saturday. It was actually January, and Dad actually, he does that every January well, he's here, so he didn't do it this time, but he sends me a text, and he goes, 6 years ago to this day, and he'll give the whole story.
And the moral of that story is make sure you got a good dad.
Spoken by a good one.
Yeah, and then a week later I had a screen test, and that was it. It happened really fast. It happened within 2 weeks.
Now, did you go back and be like, Dad, thank you? Thank you.
Yes, I did.
Definitely paid off.
He out of it too. He always does that. We were walking around. We went to the NASA Space Center the other day, and he still does this. He turns around because we get into places now. Harry Potter just opens doors. He turned around. He's like, "Isn't it well he landed that part?" He just so he's doing okay.
Now, you have a very special connection with your own character, but other than Luna, which character is your favorite?
Oh, that's a good question. Probably Dumbledore.
Albus, I like it.
He's just wise and quirky and has great dress sense. And I just always took a lot. Every time he comes into the books, or like the scene, like in book and movie, you just kind of go, oh, it's gonna be okay now, Dumbledore's here. Except until book 6. Book 6 ruined it, but I don't know, he always made me feel safe, and I trusted him, yeah.
That's cool. Now, you said you were a fan, you ended up being in the movies. If you weren't acting in the films, would you have wanted to work on the production any other way, like directing or props or anything? Like, what would that be?
Actually, I did, when I was, because we were all in school at the time, and in my 4th year of school, we had to do work experience in other places. And I mean, I was working on the Harry Potter films, kind of the coolest place to do work experience. So I contacted the people I worked at the makeup department and in the costume department and the art department. But I think I enjoyed the costume most because it was so much fun, and it just felt very, like it was a big part in creating the characters as well. Definitely, like for Luna, I wouldn't feel fully Luna until I put on my horseradishes and the whole shebang, you know.
Fully in character.
Yeah. Yeah, so it felt very creative and cool.
Now, knowing that you had such a huge knowledge of the books beforehand, was there anything that was in the books that you would have loved to have seen made it into the movie that didn't make it in? To any of them?
So many things. I was gutted that they cut out Dumbledore's funeral. I actually marched up to the producer's office and I was like, you can have my paycheck. If it's money, just take it. Because I mean, to give Dobby a good send-off, I just felt it broke my heart that he didn't get a funeral. But we gave him a 1 tribute. It's not the same, but still. And then I was really sad. Personally, I was sad that I didn't get to do the Quidditch match commentating. Because it was so cool, and it was in there at first, and we had the line out and everything, and it got cut. But yeah, because I was never one in matches, even though it was Quidditch, I kind of nod off a bit. I don't find it that interesting, and I thought Luna would make it. Sorry, all
So
the
it was
boys.
just like football.
Sorry. Yeah, but I liked how she commentated it.
Very nice. Now, speaking of changes from the pages to screen, now we've talked about Luna and Neville's relationship during the Deathly Hallows. Now, as a fan of the books, how did you feel about that? Do you think that Luna and Neville would have made a good couple?
Yeah, that was funny, wasn't it?
Matt, you can respond to this too.
Be very careful how you answer this.
I'm aware. It was a funny one because it was always, and I was always aware of the fan world, the fan fiction world, that senior world, and it was one of those things that people always thought of and they kind of wanted to happen. But normally when you change something from the books, change something in the movies from the books, people get very mad. They just they don't like it. It's not canon, it shouldn't be there. But this was one that actually everyone was really happy with. And I think it's just they're both outsiders, they're both they're weird and proud about it. And it just was nice. And it also kind of fit in the context of the war. Because everyone gets married then, because they don't know if they're going to live or die, and that was cute. But I also, that moment at the end of the film where they both go, it's a bit awkward, it's personally, I think Luna's too weird for Neville.
But do you think that JK couldn't resist matchmaking with her creations, you know? I think that towards the end of it, she couldn't help it.
This one, this here, this, yeah.
Like knitting.
She was like a mom, matching everybody together at that point.
It was quite nice. That I think it was, to see those journeys as well. The characters of Neville and Luna come so far from when we first see them to when we see them in the Deathly Hallows Part 2. Just that one scene we just saw there. Evanna's sort of introduction to Harry Potter. All the looks that sort of Neville gives her. He just thinks she's the weirdest person of all time. And yet by Deathly Hallows Part 2, he's crazy for her. So it's I just really like that whole journey, even if it wasn't canon. I quite like the way it is.
I noticed after it was all decided and the film was made, I don't know, because I'm weird, I still put Harry Potter posters up in my room, but I have the fifth one up in my room. And one day I was looking at it and I was like, hang on, Luna's totally checking Neville out. If you look at it, everyone else is looking really determined into camera, and Luna's like, checking him out.
It happens.
Listen, I'm still doing it now. He's getting a little cold down there. He's not feeling any of the heat. Evanna, that's all the questions I have for you. Thank you very much. Devon, you staying warm down there? Oh, you got hand warmers.
I have my hand warmers there. Sorry, totally forgetting the
I thought you needed those in Florida, huh? Devon, let's go and take a look at your clip.
I, a rabbit, harping home, turn this water into rum. I, a rabbit, harping home.
What's Seamus trying to do to that glass of water? Turn it to rum?
I, a rabbit,
She managed to win tea yesterday. Before...
Nailed it.
Thank you. Nothing's changed. Nothing has changed.
Oh man, that's a great. I've seen that now 4 or 5 times. Every time I'm like, yeah.
I still haven't mastered that spell. I keep trying.
Still?
No.
We gotta work on that. We'll work on that later. Now, you started working on the Harry Potter films when you were really young. What was your casting process like for the film?
My casting process was actually kind of funny because, as most people know, I'm dyslexic and I didn't read Harry Potter before my audition. So I get a phone call off my agent saying, okay, you've got to go for an audition over in the UK. So I'm thinking, sweet. So they say you're going over to meet Harry Potter. So I was like, fine, great. So we flew over and I got to meet, when I went over it was like, okay, so this is Harry Potter, cool. And all of a sudden I come over and the director comes over, so I was like, hi Harry, how are you? And everybody's like, what are you talking about? This is Chris Columbus, the director. I'm like, oh, my bad. So, yeah, I met Matthew Lewis there on the same day, I think. You were going for the audition as well for Neville. So, yeah, I went there, I done the screen test, and literally 2 days later, I found out that I had the part at the read-through, which was pretty cool.
That's a pretty quick turnaround.
Yeah, it was deadly.
And here you are now, and
I'm still going strong. Just
there you go. It's the only way to be, man. Now, we know that Seamus, the character, loves to blow things up. We also heard that you held kind of a rather awesome achievement for breaking the most prop wands. How did that happen? And do you think you're similar to your character, Seamus, in any way?
Okay, well, the wands, that's all Matthew Lewis's fault again. Because in the first Harry Potter film, Neville comes in and he has the leg locker curse. And Seamus goes over and he's like, Neville, I can sort that out for you. And Neville's like, hang on there. What was the line? If I let you do it, you'll blow my bloody kneecaps up or something. And Seamus gets really, really angry. So he gets his wand and he slams it on the table, says something to Neville and then storms off. But every time I slammed the wand on the table, I broke it because they were really thin, so yeah. Typical me.
I only broke one wand.
Only one?
I broke like 20 in one day doing that. But coming back to being like Seamus in real life, I'm definitely like Seamus. I'm clumsy. I blew up my microwave twice. My most
Still
recent
blowing stuff up. That's good.
My most recent was in June, so yeah, like I still haven't learned. How? I think that's what it is. I do miss it, of course. But to be fair, I don't actually go in there and put like something metal in it and it blows up. I'm not that stupid. I swear. The first time there was something metal in it. The second time there wasn't. I learned.
It's a good lesson to learn. Now, speaking of all the explosions, you've had a lot of them in your face. What was that like? What was it like having all those explosions in your face?
It was kind of cool. It was an experience. I just see Matthew Lewis there giggling away, and it kind of set me off. But yeah, like it was really cool. My very first explosion was on the first movie. Now everybody else is giggling and setting me off. Cheers. Yeah, it was on the very first one, and it was with Professor Flitwick. And it was on my 13th birthday, and I done it, and it was great. What they done is they had to use like special bulbs, and they were like the old-fashioned cameras that had one flash. So they used like 20 or 30 bulbs to get the light and the explosion. So that was cool. The problem was, because they had so many and the power going into them was insane, they kept on actually blowing up. So the actual glass was smashing and flying everywhere. So that was you're kind of dodging all the shards of glass. But Seamus has blown up quite a few things. I think he had 3 proper explosions over the course of the movies.
And you're still doing it in the microwave and everything.
Still the microwaves.
So we're just keeping the tradition going. Now in the films, your characters generally seem to hang out with other characters from your same house. Now, did you feel a sense of loyalty to your fellow Gryffindor classmates?
On set, it was everybody was just all best mates, you know. You wouldn't say, oh, I'm not going to hang out with Tom, Jamie, or anyone like that because they're in Slytherin. So, no, but when you're filming, of course, like, Seamus wouldn't have probably... No, actually, no, I think in the movie, I always thought that Seamus should have been an undercover spy for Slytherin. Yeah, I always thought that. I always thought Seamus should run back to, like, Draco Malfoy and tell him, come here, this is what they're all doing over here. It's just something that I always thought from the very beginning. Sorry?
now.
He's writing a whole other
Irish.
book
He
over
wants
there
an
by
extra few
himself.
What's that?
It's all coming out now, blowing up Slytherin's microwaves and all sorts.
That's it.
They kick him out after the first week. After 3 microwaves, you're done. Now, leading into that, your character, Seamus, was Gryffindor. What would your house be?
For me, it would probably be Slytherin. Definitely. Like, I'm ambitious, so everything I do, like, I want to do it the best. And I think that's very much like Slytherin. As far as I'm aware, they are like, that's one of their things, isn't it? Like, yes. See? I do know stuff. Ivan is just looking at me
Clearly
saying...
his research. Devon, that is all the questions I have for you. Thank you very much, man. Mark. It's your turn, man. Let's check out your clip.
And who are you?
Oh, sorry, sir. I'm Harry, sir. Harry Potter.
Good Lord. Are you really? Oh. Ron's told us all about you, of course. When did he get here?
This morning. Your sons flew that enchanted car of yours to Surrey and back last night.
Did you really? How'd it go? I mean, that was very wrong indeed, boys. Very wrong of you. Now, Harry, you must know all about muggles. Tell me, what exactly is the function of a rubber duck?
Mark, how was your trip in, man? How was your trip in?
Oh, it's... Yeah, what? Here, on the aeroplane?
Yes.
Marvellous. It's wonderful, you can see out and everything. Clouds, and they bring you cups of tea. The best thing about it is your phone's not on, so people aren't ringing you going, could you just... Can I just...
That was me. Now I'm gonna ask you, the Weasleys are definitely fan favorites, the family for sure. Now what was it like playing the patriarch of the family? Did you find yourself giving fatherly advice on and off the screen?
Well, it wasn't... Well... when we were doing Goblet of Fire, everybody was in... You were all really young, and it was a laugh. So mostly it was like, shut up! Ginny, Bonnie just used to bounce around like that. Yeah. And there was a lot of sniggering, you know. So it was a lot of fun. As I said, until they all hit adolescence, when it was just like, okay.
James and Oliver, did you feel like you guys got any good advice off screen?
Yeah. We did actually. On the last film, Mark came in. Yeah, I found a great curry house down the road. So we went out for a curry, didn't we? And it was one of those like outside of filming, like hanging out because we were all in the same.
That was when we were in this pub. We went for a pint when they were old enough, and we went for a pint and a curry.
Just to clarify.
No, they were. It was a sort of rite of passage, you know. And we were in this, and this girl said, "Oh, can I get a photo?" And so the boys and the twins with groups in between them, and then they said, "Oh yeah, and your dad." Thanks.
I bet they were very happy to have you in that photo afterwards. Now, we've got a Twitter question for you, Mark. You are pretty much the dad that anybody would love to have. Are you like Mr. Weasley in real life?
Tragically, yes.
In what way?
I'd sort of tend towards enthusiasm as the first choice option. That's my default option. Brilliant! and sort of nosy, really. I mean, what is the function of a rubber duck? Well, amusement, clearly. Employment for rubber duck makers.
Everybody needs a job.
Yellow paint testing. I don't know.
All of those things are great.
Flotation technology. Yeah. I'll shut up now, Austin.
Now, if you were one of the students, which character would you have liked to play?
That's a very difficult question. I wouldn't answer that really, because I think of all the students as a uncle, patriarchal figure, I could see fantastic things in all of them, you know. And I used to love watching them do stuff. At one point, when Neville walks out from the lines in the last battle, and Seamus goes, "Stand down, Neville." That was just engraved on my memory. I love that, and my daughter does a great impersonation of Luna going, "There now goes Harry." And so it's all a great big rich mixture of great amusing young people's stuff.
All right, now do you have any favorite magical artifacts?
Any magical artifacts? Yeah, I do. The clock. Which it just was just a whole image for me of the quality and care and excitement of being on a set like that, where the clock had got hands that were actually the finger pieces from scissors that went round with a picture of each of the family in them, and you knew where they were. The great one was in mortal peril. Oh, quick! What's the... Oh, mortal peril!
All right, last question. Now, your character worked in the
calls between me and Julie, actually, that. Paddy, mortal peril!
We're just going to do that throughout the night randomly now. Like, I just want you to pop up and say that throughout the entire night. Doesn't matter what's happening.
Mortal peril!
Nailed it. Now, we know your character worked in the Ministry of Magic. What would your wizard job be? Like, if you could get a wizarding job, what would it be?
What, he does what
yours, though. Not your character, yours.
If he didn't. Hang on a minute, you confused me now. Fatally, I suspect. Austin, you have to spell that out.
I'm just here to confuse you, that's what I'm here for.
Are you saying if I wasn't in the Ministry of Magic, what would I do?
No, your character worked in the Ministry of Magic, but if you worked in there, what would your wizarding job be?
Well, you're not interested in me, are you? Silly old. I think probably I'd like to be oh no, we got owls, haven't we? I was going to say a postman. Just bimbling around, you know, like, there you go, that's all right. There you go. Oh, go home now, have a cup of tea.
Mark, you guys have all been great. That is my last question. Or do you guys have any last things to say before?
Yeah, a big thanks to everyone waiting out in the cold here.
It's great to be back, and I say that very sincerely. We flew in today and it was like, oh, brilliant, back here.
Yeah, a load of us got messages on Twitter. You guys have been out, some of you have been out since like 6 a.m, so yeah. Honestly, we do really thank you so much for all your support and for being here today, and I hope you had a great weekend, and yeah, cheers.
I don't know how much more I can add on the bottom of that, but you know, as the years roll by, you always think, are we going to come to one of these things and there's going to be no one here? You know, I'm looking at all you people, and it's still pretty special. So thank you so much for coming out. Appreciate it. Thank you.
And I want to say thanks for everything over the last, say, 14 years of my life. Everyone has all been great, all the support, and just thanks a million for turning out for this, and hope to see us all over the weekend.
Reiterate what everyone has said. It's so lovely to come back here. What Matt said, I keep expecting people to like, who are you again? Get out. And it's really nice just to be welcomed back every single time. And it does make it feel like Harry Potter is a family, and that you are part of the family, which is so nice. And I also wanted to say thank you to Warner Brothers and Universal for having us all back all the time.
Yes. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Now we know everybody, you guys want to ask some questions, right? Well, don't forget this weekend you're going to have your chance at the Toon Amphitheater at Islands of Adventure, so make sure you're there to go see them. You guys are all going to be there, right?